Today we're going to be doing another example on the high-low method. This time I'm going to be using an example from a book, which is Managerial Accounting for Business Decision Making. It's the fourth Canadian edition by Wiley. Alright, let's go straight ahead with the question. The controller of Gritsia Industries has collected the following monthly expense data for the use in analyzing the cost behavior of maintenance cost. So over here we have the different months, their maintenance cost, as well as the machine hours. The first question is determine the fixed and the variable cost components using the high-low method. Second, prepare a graph showing the behavior of maintenance costs and identify the fixed, the variable cost elements. Use 2,000 hour increments and 1,000 cost increments. Okay. What I would recommend you guys to do is take a minute and pause this video right now and try and attempting this problem from what we learned from the previous video. Once you have done so, replay my video and see how I do it, and then compare your answers with mine. Okay. Now, assuming you have followed my instructions, let's go ahead with my solutions. So then you can compare with yours. The first step in solving a problem is you start off with the basic template that we used in the previous example. The high cost minus low cost divided by the high activity minus low activity, which is equal to your variable per unit. Okay, in the problem they gave us that the highest cost that we see over here is 5,000 and the lowest cost is 2,750. The total machine hours, the highest one is 8,000 and the lowest is 3,500. Okay. So with that information, we just plug in the numbers, 5,000 minus 2,750 divided by 8,000 minus 3,500, which will give us the variable per unit. We found the variable per unit to be 0.5. Next. Now, this is our variable cost, but what is our fixed cost? In order to determine the fixed cost, we have to make another very fancy table called activity level, high, low, total cost. The total cost for the high was 5,000. The total cost for the low was 2,750. Okay, less the variable cost. Now, the variable cost, what is the highest activity that we had? It was 8,000. 8,000 multiplied by our variable cost will give us the highest cost of our variable cost for our activity. Next, we do the same thing for the low activity times the variable cost, which gave us 1,750. You subtract the total cost minus your variable cost, which will give you $1,000, which is your total fixed cost. So now we have our now we figured out both our variable cost, variable per unit, plus our fixed cost. So our maintenance cost is just simply $1,000 per month, plus $0.5 per machine hours, so per every activity, depending on the problem. So that was part A. Let's do part B. Part B, they asked you just to draw it and indicating what is the fixed and the variable costs. First of all, we saw over here that our total fixed cost is $1,000. So on our scale, we're going to put $1,000, which is a fixed cost, which we have very similarly to our other example where we had the rent, when we had to have the discount truck. You have a rent over here, and our variable cost is per every unit, so it's changing all the time. And in our case, it was 0.5 for every unit. And I drew this very rough graph. However, it's not to scale. If I were to scale it, what I have to do? I know my equation on my line is y is equal to 0.5x plus 1,000. So I would put 1,000 into my x in order to find my y. Let's do one together. So y is equal to 0.5 times 1,000. Because recall in the problem they said that your x's have to increase by an increment of 1,000 and your y's have to increase with an increment of 2,000. Anyways, so let's do this together. 0.5 times 1,000 is 500 plus 1,000. It will give you 1,500. Yeah, I sort of messed that up. I'll do it again. 1,000. 0.5 times 1,000 plus 1,000, 1,500, which is y. So what does this mean? 1,000, 1,500. So 1,000, it should be 1,500. I'm just doing this just so you know how you would have to draw it if you had to do it for scale. I hope that's clear for you. Stay tuned for the next video.